I don't think I've ever made an artillery video, so I'm gonna take a shot at it. This is gonna be my first video, and this is the M40 43 Tier 8 artillery SPG, whatever you want to call it, Sky Cancer, Ebola. I'm in a platoon with my couple of friends, and they're grinding their Tier 8s, so I'm helping them out by just, you know, keeping company, making dumb jokes over on the Discord. Anyway, I have the Tier 8, Tier 9, and Tier 10 of the American series, and basically everyone gets these tanks to get the female crew for the personal missions, so I've kept mine in case I need to use it for clan wars in Tier 8s or something like that. And I have basically a new crew in it, and it's not even 100% trained. Now, what you want to do in a situation where you're playing artillery, you want to get off, because your reload takes so long, right? I think this tank reload time takes forever, maybe 38 seconds, something like that. You want to make sure every shot counts. Now, I've got this guy aimed in, and he has not moved, so I'm gonna finish him off. I am using all premium rounds, but the thing about premium rounds in the M40-43 is it has the same amount of damage, and it has the same amount of penetration. What's different about it from the regular rounds is the splash, or the radius, splash radius. It has 1 meter of splash radius more than your standard AP shells. So your explosion radius is like 11.7 meters, while the standard rounds have like 10.8 meters or something like that. It's basically the same damage and same penetration. So the only advantage is that a little bit extra 1 meter of 1 meter of extra radius that you get. So my advice to you is it is not necessary to run premium rounds in this tank. However, if you're like me and you have 50 million credits lying around, then why not go full gold? It's not gonna affect you, it's not gonna make a difference to you, so just go for it. Now this tank was nerfed quite terribly after the apocalypse, the artillery apocalypse, when they decided to change the how artillery worked. It received a nerf, and they changed it to stun instead of huge damage. And this tank sort of became obsolete, the American line anyway. Nobody uses these for. I'm not sure if they still use the Tier 8 for Clan Wars, but I know that I researched all the way up to the T92 Tier 10, and I still haven't played mine, even though I got good crew in it. It's just because it's not utilized anymore in the Clan Wars in Tier 10. Most clans often go for the Conqueror GC or the GWE, or maybe even the Bad Chat, but definitely not this tank. This tank has fallen out of favor. You only get to play this in random battles, if you want to play in random battles. Now I have maybe 500 games in artilleries, over 48,000 games, which means I don't play a lot of artilleries. But you go through one of these phases. Look at this camo that I have. I have the football camo on. This is the second week stage 1 gold. If you made it to gold level in the second week, then you'll get this camo as a reward. It's kind of cool. If it didn't have that football insignia on it, it could pass as like some funky modern camo or something like that. But anyway, it's cool. I like it. Something different. Since we're all going with the clown camo and the clown makeup, you might as well go full retard, and that's the camo that I have on right now. Now my we've had a significant lead in this game. We've had a 5 tank lead, and then it shrank down to 4 tanks, and my teammates, which went full retard mode, they've lost their lives because they were too aggressive, and I was warning them earlier on jokingly. When we had the 5-0 lead, I was like, hey, you know, leave some damage for me, stop pushing too hard. And now things are beginning to get a little bit more serious. We are actually in a position where we can lose this game, and this is because a lot of their heavy hitters are still alive and still effective, while our heavy hitters have already gone. So what I'm going to do is try to support my team best I can. I try to close the distance, and the reason why I'm trying to close the distance is because the closer you are, of course, the shorter the distance your shell needs to travel. Therefore, theoretically, you have a little bit more accuracy. But however, I don't have an angle to shoot any of these guys here, and I'm trying to support this 277 best I can, because I know that he is essential to our ability to win this game, but he's taking huge damage, and even this T44 100 is trying to go back to help him out ASAP, but unfortunately we're going to lose that tank, and we're going to lose this 277. And from a 5 tank lead, we're going to lose that 5 tank lead that we have, and it's going to be all square 10 apiece as soon as this 277 dies. Now I'm making a preemptive move here. I know we're going to lose that 277, so what I'm going to do is try to make an escape as soon as possible. Get an early start, try to get out of there, and what I'm going to do is try to get down to the 0 line, where I'm going to get to one of those ditches where I can shoot anything these guys spots. But the problem with this challenger is I don't think he's a very experienced player, so he's not doing much in terms of supporting, like spotting. He's just stayed in that position the entire game. We've got our 430 that tried to attack their base, which is a good idea, but right now we've lost everything on the A and B line, which means some of them are coming back to support their base, and which means our 430 is gone. So this is a 4v3, but they have tier 10s and we don't. Now it's a 12v12 because I managed to snapshot that guy, and maybe that's where that extra 1 meter of explosion radius helped out a bit. I could have missed that guy, but with that extra 1 meter and killed that guy on the low HP. So what I planned to do here was go down to the dip and try to be safe there. But I decided that hey, maybe that's not such a good idea, because I can't depend on this challenger to help me. So what I decided, I changed my mind here. I was thinking of going to this bush over here and sit inside there and aim at our base. But in the end, I remember this light tank position that I usually take when I'm playing Clan Wars, defending the side of the map. And I would go into this bush and I would spot anything that's coming up. So I decided to do that. So I was ready to shotgun whoever that was going to climb up this way, because I was thinking they're probably going to come up this way to flank around us. So I was prepared for that. So I'm sitting here waiting for them to come up this way, that pattern or something to come up this way. But we sit and we wait, we sit and we wait, and nothing shows up. I've got to be able to react quickly, and I have one eye on the mini-map, and I see that guy. I tried to click on that map, which you saw my reaction was a little bit slow there. That was because when I was clicking on the map, it didn't work. I don't know, for some reason it just didn't but I still managed to get my shot, and thankfully he was very low HP, so any kind of splash would have been sufficient, and it was, and I did manage to get the kill on that guy. This is gonna really suck, because the suspense right now. They can still totally carry this because they have the pattern, which is like, if anybody knows World of Tanks, you know that that's a really good tank to be in this kind of situation. But we get a little bit fortunate here because he wasn't aggressive enough in taking out our T-44-100, which leaves me with a little bit of opportunity here to shoot him. I'm not sure if that hit him because he kind of went dark after that, but in any case he's still a one shot, which means if I reload in time while he comes and rushes me or the challenger, we could still finish him off. So this is a 2v2 pattern, and their artillery versus me and our not so helpful challenger. Now the challenger, instead of confronting that pattern and trying to hunt him down, he's decided to run away, which means I'm basically on my own over here. I decide to see if I can use my splash radius and see if I can damage this artillery piece if he decides to poke out there. And what I'm going to do right now is try to get, I'm assuming that the pattern is chasing after me, so I'm going to try and get some distance away from him. If he just I'm just pretending that he's chasing me, so I'm trying to get away from him. And now I decide to turn around and get into that bush and wait for him. So I'm looking at my reload and trying to time my reload with my movement into this bush that I'm coming into here. I was thinking of this left bush here, but I decided to go wide as possible, go and get on the low ground underneath this bush, and then why not push up a little bit further and get to this bush over here. So let's just sit here and wait for that pattern. I'm sure he's gonna show up, and there he is. I fire him on third person, just put my marker on him, and that was GG. Totally carried that game, and really happy with that result. And I got a first class, and finally all my crews are trained to 100%, and whatever 2000 plus damage, it's no big deal. But and there you go, when you fire a lot of gold you lose a lot of credits for doing it. And that was the game. I hope you enjoyed some insight into the artillery play of the M4043. I hope you enjoyed that video, and thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye.